A very brief break across the West Coast today. Los Angeles, Sacramento in the 50s and 60s. Some sunshine creeping into Southern California. You can see Las Vegas and Tucson a little more in the way of sun as well. But here's the thing. The break, again, I said brief, I was not kidding. By the time we get to late tonight and this weekend, here comes our next rounds of moisture. And we're going to see this pattern of storms just smacking the West Coast all the way through the middle of the month. So buckle up if you live in California. It's going to be a bit bumpy. Let's get into it, starting with the three storms, yes, three, that we are watching over the next few days. First of all, we have our early weekend system, our late weekend storm, and then our early next week's storm. The two weekend storms, they'll be pretty quick to happen one after the other. The next week's storm, that one's a different story. Let's get started with storms 1 and 2. Here's future radar, and you can see as we get into Friday afternoon and evening, you start to get some of this soaking rainfall across Northern California, across I-5 as we get into the overnight hours and tomorrow morning as well. And then you'll notice the snow starting to impact the Sierra and the Southern Cascades. You'll see some snow falling and accumulating too. Now, our second round of moisture really gets to us Saturday into Sunday. Look at Sunday just after midnight. You are getting absolutely soaked across I-5. Now the moisture starts to stretch further south and the snow continues to fall in the Sierra. I think snow levels will be a little bit lower with this. We'll talk more about that in a second. But in terms of that soaking rain, that's nothing to mess around with. If you're planning to travel up and down I-5 this weekend, please be aware road conditions will be slick. Flooding is very much possible and mudslides are not out of the question. Now, in terms of the snow, a few things to watch for. We're looking at accumulating feet with these first two storms here. 2 to 3 feet of snow at Lassen Park, 2 to 3 feet in Tioga Pass, Donner Pass about 1 foot to 1.5 feet, and Echo Pass more of the same, 1 foot to 1.5 feet. Again, those snow levels a little lower this weekend. Our next system, the early week system, not quite as cold, but very powerful. Look at the moisture content. Ready as we go through Sunday into Monday. Look at this ribbon smack into San Francisco, LA, all through the California coastline. We are going to see tremendous amounts of moisture, and what you're looking at here in the upper atmosphere will come down in the forms of rain and snow again. Here's a look at some of the rainfall totals. San Francisco and Redding in that 2 to 4 inch range between Sunday night and Tuesday. So that's excluding the first two storms, just our third storm alone. Fresno right on that line of 1 to 2 inches and 2 to 4 inches, and LA, you're looking at 1 to 2 inches as we head through the beginning of the week. Your AccuWeather local storm max is 14 inches of rain. That's more so into the higher elevations as we see the rain really come down. But the impacts of this system, rain and snow, will be huge. This is a big concern for California at the start of the week. Sunday, Monday, Tuesday, life-threatening flooding, landslides and mudslides, property damage, tree damage, power outages, roads and bridges being washed out. It's a combination, right, of storm after storm after storm, and then how sizable this storm alone is. If you live in, let's say, the San Joaquin Valley, if you live in Northern California, if you live in the Bay Area, you really have to stay weather aware as we head into this next week. It is going to be very rough. And by the way, the potential for more storms late next week is there as well. We'll be tracking it all here on the AccuWeather Network.
Hey, thanks for watching. If you enjoyed this video, check out these other videos here and be sure to subscribe for new content and the latest weather news from AccuWeather.